What if one single decision, not a hot stock tip or a lucky break, literally doubled the income you'd collect every month in retirement? We're talking about a real shift that changed the math so dramatically, most people can't believe they didn't do it sooner. Here's the thing, the decision wasn't exotic, it wasn't complicated, and it didn't require you to be a finance genius or have $1 million sitting around. It required something rarer than money, the patience to delay and the discipline to trust a system that most people abandon out of pure anxiety. The change was simply waiting, specifically delaying Social Security benefits from age 62 all the way to age 70. For every year you wait past your full retirement age, your monthly benefit grows by roughly 8%, guaranteed, backed by the federal government. Think about that like a savings account that pays you 8% annually, risk-free, in a world where most banks offer you something closer to pocket lint. That kind of guaranteed return doesn't exist almost anywhere else in the modern financial landscape. And yet millions of people walk right past it every single year. Now here's where it gets almost comedically ironic. The people who need retirement security the most are often the first ones to claim early, locking in a permanently reduced benefit because they're scared or because they just don't know. It's a little like pulling your bread out of the oven at the halfway mark and wondering why it tastes wrong. The behavioral economics here are fascinating and a little heartbreaking. We are wired to take the sure thing now over a bigger reward later, which is great when you're a caveman avoiding predators, but not so great when you're 62 and making a permanent income decision that will affect every single month for the rest of your life. Earlier optimism about retirement often looks like, I'll just claim early and invest the difference. And yes, on a whiteboard with perfect assumptions, that can look compelling. But in real life, most people don't invest it, they spend it. And suddenly, that clever arbitrage strategy becomes a permanent pay cut disguised as financial savvy. Historically, the break-even point between claiming early and claiming late falls somewhere around your late 70s. Meaning, if you live past that, and statistically, 1 in 4 65-year-olds today will live past age 90, waiting wins, often by a staggering margin. We're not talking about a few extra dollars. We're talking about potentially hundreds of thousands in cumulative lifetime income. This fits into a broader pattern we see across personal finance, which is that the boring, slow, unsexy move almost always beats the exciting one. Community forums, financial planners, and even your most frugal uncle at Thanksgiving will eventually all converge on the same wisdom. Time and compounding are the only free lunches in this game. Let's kill a common misconception right now. A lot of people believe they should claim early because the government might go broke or I might not live long enough to break even. Social Security has navigated recessions, wars, and decades of political football. And even in its worst projected scenarios, it pays out the majority of scheduled benefits, not zero. So what's the practical lesson here, stripped of all the noise? You build a bridge. You cover your expenses from 62 to 70 using savings, part-time work, rental income, or any combination thereof, so that when 70 hits, you flip on a dramatically higher inflation-adjusted income stream that you can never outlive. The discipline required is not in the math. The math is easy. The discipline is in not panicking, not rationalizing an early claim because the market dropped or your neighbor said something at a barbecue, and not confusing short-term discomfort with long-term failure. Process matters more than prediction here, which means your strategy needs to be so clearly defined in advance that no single bad month, scary headline, or well-meaning brother-in-law can knock you off course. Position sizing and cash flow planning before you retire is the work. And the payoff is a retirement where you're not doing math on napkins at 75 trying to figure out if you can afford heat. There's also something philosophically beautiful about this particular move. It's one of the few decisions in personal finance where patience is literally mechanically rewarded with more money, not just potentially rewarded through market performance. You're not betting on anything except your own longevity and the continued existence of a program that has been running for nearly 90 years. And yes, we can acknowledge the uncertainty. Nobody knows exactly how long they'll live, and nobody knows exactly what policy changes might come. But rational preparation means making the best possible decision with the information available, not paralysis by what if, and the information available strongly, consistently, repeatedly favors waiting. The people who doubled their retirement income didn't find a loophole or a secret, they just did the uncomfortable thing, trusted the process, and let time do its work. That combination of discipline, sizing your bridge strategy correctly, and consistency in not touching the plan is ultimately what separates a comfortable retirement from a stressful one. So if you're within a decade of retirement right now, the question isn't whether this strategy works. The research is overwhelming. The question is whether you have the infrastructure around you to actually pull it off. The right cash flow plan, the right assets, and ideally, the right investments generating income while you wait. If you want help building that bridge, whether through real estate investing, home contracting opportunities, or connecting with the right lenders, check out our links in the description below.